There's a moment many of us have when we cross 50. It's not loud or dramatic, just this quiet, creeping question: will I be okay? And not just today, but 20, 30 years from now. And it's not about survival, it's about clarity, about money, and about meaning. I'm Sanjay, and in this episode of What If You Live to Be 100, I want to talk not just about financial planning, but about the role money plays in shaping how we live the second half of our lives. Let's walk through this together. Let me take you back to a Sunday afternoon a few years ago. I was sitting with a friend, 58 years old, successful, worked hard all his life. He told me, Sanjay, I don't worry about having enough money. I worry about what I'm supposed to do with it now. What's the point? That stayed with me. Because money is not just about security, it's about purpose, it's about freedom, and sometimes about fear. The conversation made me realize something. Financial planning often gives us answers to the how, but rarely to the why. Why am I saving? Why does this number matter? What is this money truly for, if not to support a life I find meaningful? Sometimes we mistake the finish line for the goal. Having enough is not the goal. Living well, that's the goal. Many of us look at spreadsheets, mutual funds, insurance policies, but in the quiet moments, we're asking, will it last? Can I help my children and still have enough for myself? What if I live longer than I imagined? What about rising medical costs? What about giving back? And then there's that invisible worry. I don't want to be a burden. These aren't financial questions. These are emotional ones. But they show up in financial forms. I call them soul questions in spreadsheet clothing. Because beneath the calculations and the sips, we're often just looking for one thing: peace of mind. And that kind of peace isn't found in the market's performance. It's found in clarity. A quiet confidence that your life and the life you care about is in alignment. Here's something I've learned after speaking to many people our age. The idea of enough is deeply personal. It's not a number, it's a feeling. For one person, it's being able to take a trip each year. For another, it's never having to ask their kids for money. For someone else, it's the ability to leave something behind. So, instead of only chasing returns, maybe we also need to ask, what does money enable me to do that matters? Let's pause here for a second. What does your enough look like? Take a moment to imagine it. A typical day in your life where you feel safe, fulfilled, free, where money is not a source of stress but of support, not indulgence, not accumulation, just peace, dignity, and a bit of joy. Isn't that the real wealth? I remember a retired couple who once told me, we eat out twice a month, we love our terrace garden, and we don't want more than that. Their money habits gave them peace, not power. And that peace is priceless. You know what struck me most? The way they spoke about their plants with more affection than some speak about their investments. Sometimes we confuse growth with happiness, but maybe a little well watered is more rewarding than a portfolio well managed. Now let's get practical for a bit. At this stage of life, it's not just about how much you've saved, it's about how you use it. Are your assets aligned to your goals? Have you accumulated for inflation and unexpected expenses? Do you have liquidity when you need it? Is your money working for you or just sitting idle? And here's the big one. Have you talked to your family about it? Estate planning, nominations, healthcare wishes. These are hard conversations, but they are vital because silence leaves space for confusion. And confusion in times of crisis turns into conflict. I've seen families torn apart. Not because someone was greedy, but because someone didn't know. A parent passes without a will, and the children who once played together in the same backyard now argue about who gets which drawer. Don't leave them with that. Speak now, even if it's awkward. Especially if it's awkward. Ask yourself, does my family know what matters to me? Have I told them where my important documents are? Do they know my healthcare preferences in case I can't speak for myself? If not, maybe that's something to do this week, not as a chore, but as a gift. Let's come back to where we began. There is meaning in money when it's connected to life. Are you using your resources to support things you care about? Are you helping someone else find their footing? Are you building a legacy beyond numbers? You don't need to have crores in the bank for that. Sometimes the smallest gestures make the deepest impact. I know someone who funds a small library in their old school back in the village. He said, "It costs less than my phone bill, but it reminds me who I am." Isn't that beautiful? When money serves memory, when money supports meaning, that's when it becomes truly powerful. So, no, this isn't an investment podcast. I'm not here to give you stock tips. I'm just one of you navigating the same road, trying to figure out how money, when used with clarity, can become a quiet, empowering companion as we move forward. Because in the end, what we seek is not wealth for the sake of it. We seek the freedom to live well, to sleep peacefully, to love generously, to give thoughtfully, and to age not with fear but with dignity. In the coming episodes, we'll dive deeper into many of these aspects: taxes, loans at this age, healthcare costs, wealth transfer. But for now, take a moment. Ask yourself, what does financial peace look like for me? And once you have that answer, let's try and move toward it together. Thanks for listening. This is Sanjay, and I'll see you in the next one.